All right. So, welcome to the I Design Websites podcast. My name is Kevin Wright, and I Design Websites. This is a somewhat regular podcast. Fairly new. This is the second episode. We're actually doing two things this go round. I am recording this for YouTube so that you can watch this, and then obviously you still be able to listen to this podcast on the audio version. We're currently on Anchor, Spotify, and some other platform that Anchor actually got us on. But all the links are in the show notes, so I'll be sure to include those. We have show notes this go round, the second go round. And basically what I'm looking at, what I typically try to go over, the three main things are website, social media, and digital marketing, and just give you my take on those particular things. I've designed websites for quite some time, and just with the evolution of technology and softwares and systems, I mean, for instance, me getting a podcast up and running was very, very easy utilizing Anchor services. So basically, I'm able to be everywhere at scale. So basically, let's go ahead and jump right on into the topic for today. I got a couple of things going on with a few of my monitors so we can make this thing work today. So what I want to talk about is e-commerce platforms, right? So there's a lot of different places that you can sell your product online. Over the past 10 plus years, we've basically utilized quite a few different e-commerce platforms. Two of the main ones have been WooCommerce, which you see on the screen right now. And then after that, we've really been putting people on Shopify depending upon their needs. And then there's platforms that we've moved people from that are still considered popular. I don't particularly like them, but we'll jump into that as we go through this list. And there's a new company that's been around, I believe, like 10 years now. And I say new because I don't hear too many people that I've worked with through my company, Uncommon Inc., that have used them. However, I do like what they've been promoting. And actually, as of it's 12:31 a.m. right now, so as of yesterday, I had a conversation with a young lady with this platform, and I'll dive deeper into it. And I just became a partner with them. So I'm really, really liking what they are providing. It's like the marriage of two worlds coming together to be able to get the best of both worlds. But nevertheless, the e-commerce platforms that I'm going to talk about are going to be WooCommerce, Shopify, BigCommerce, which that's the one that I'm really hoping goes far and with what they're trying to provide. I'm going to go over Squarespace, and then the two platforms that people use them, and obviously they're doing with whatever they need done for the people that use them. However, I truly do not particularly like these two platforms. However, and I'll go over why, but you'll have to take my review of these two platforms with a grain of salt, because when I say I thoroughly do not like them, I don't like them. But the reason why I included them in this podcast video that we're doing today, today it is 12:32, is because a lot of people that are interested in getting website redesigns tell me that they use these two platforms, being Wix and Weebly. The first platform that I'm going to go over is WooCommerce. So if you are listening to the audio version of this, I highly do recommend you to continue to listen to us. However, I will be showing the web pages and kind of navigating through a few things as well. So if you want to revisit this, you can actually revisit it on WordPress, or you can hit up kevinwright.cc.com, kevinwright.cc. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we've got WordPress. WordPress e-commerce platform being WooCommerce. WooCommerce, completely free to use, and the platform has a very, very big market share when it comes to what platforms are powering the e-commerce realm of the website and things like that. It is considered, and I would have to almost 100% agree, that it's the most, as you can see here, the world's most customizable e-commerce platform. And what they mean by that is that it's open source. So open source, not to throw too much jargon at you, basically means that you can just do whatever you want. Somebody made a thing, right? Some code and made WooCommerce. And from WooCommerce's just base functionality, you're able to integrate in with so many other things, meaning that I can make something that improves WooCommerce to with whatever my business needs. Plugin developers are able to create things like, hey, you want to send abandoned cart emails in a specific way. You can build that on top of WooCommerce because of the open source nature of everything. Designing out WordPress websites, most definitely introduced me to WooCommerce very quickly. And I love it. I love it from the aspect of it's easy enough for me to set up and get clients onboarded that have WordPress websites. I'm gonna jump into some of the pros and cons of each individual platform. And obviously we're starting off with WooCommerce. So some of the pros that I particularly like with WooCommerce, not just from a personal standpoint, but reasons why I've been able to get a lot of my clients on board is it's an open source platform, like I said, and that open source platform is powered by another open source platform, being WordPress. There's a lot of benefit to that, and one of the main ones is the SEO aspect. WordPress is always getting better, getting quicker, getting faster, and because of that, WooCommerce gets to basically piggyback off of all of the things that WordPress has achieved. From there, like I said before, it's the most customizable platform. So you notice that I mentioned a lot of integrations that you can get in with WordPress and WooCommerce. Like there's plugins that assist with marketing and all this other kind of stuff. But actually, I can show you better than I can tell you. And I do have to say, I just got an email. Well, I can't see the exact time. I don't even know if you can see this. This is not a promotion. I don't get any credit, even though I am an affiliate seller. But in this review of all of these platforms, I am not including any affiliate links. But the idea is just that for those that are listening, I'm showing my phone up to the camera. And basically, WooCommerce is celebrating 11 years of Woo with 50% off all of their plugins, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to dive into what some of those things are. So if we click over extensions, let's just click on all. Some of these integrations include being able to include Google Ads, WooCommerce bookings. So if you want to include a booking system that runs through an e-commerce platform, being WooCommerce, you can get that integrated in. If you wanted to turn your WooCommerce store into a membership site, you can do that. Actually, let me show you some of the free options. So it can integrate in with Facebook so that it can easily integrate in with Facebook so that you can sell your products through Facebook. And then obviously through Facebook, you can link it to Instagram and sell your products that way. So it has that integration. And then one of the not so talked about reasons why WooCommerce is so beneficial, in my opinion, is that there's a lot of areas that services like Shopify, which I'll talk about, maybe Wix and Weebly, there's a lot of areas that either don't have an e-commerce payment gateway, or that can only use one payment gateway. And it's not always PayPal or Stripe or Square or something like that, right? Some of the ones that are popular here in the States. So through WooCommerce, because it's an open source platform, people can create their own payment gateways to link with banks that banks that are already in their area. So that's one of the biggest reasons. So when we say open source, I mean, this is a very, very powerful thing, meaning that WooCommerce gives you the ability to basically open up a store anywhere and not be limited to only the major service providers for payment gateways or even integrations for certain services. And then one of the other things is that as well as, like, let's say a platform only comes in so many languages. It's like, I can't read it. Like, you can create your own whatever part of WooCommerce to meet your language's needs. So like, there's so many just small things that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to these open source platforms, where they do become very beneficial to use in certain parts of the world. While I can tell you WordPress, I can't find one company that provides a service to the internet and to websites that does not like to integrate in with WordPress, meaning that MailChimp, a lot of email marketing systems, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, whatever email marketing services, what is it? Social media plugins that need to integrate in. Well, for instance, you're looking at right now, Facebook, all the major payment gateways integrate in with are available to WooCommerce. But you got to realize WordPress itself powers, like 33% of the internet, I believe, that as of today, maybe even more, 33, 34, maybe. And because of that, WooCommerce powers quite a bit of e-commerce websites through that. And because of that, it's almost beneficial for any company that provides some form of analytical data, some sort of marketing campaign, something to improve a website, right? To have some form of a WordPress, and for this example, WooCommerce integration. Once again, you see Amazon has an integration with them. Live chat has, if you want to have a live chat functionality on your website, this is available. I'm trying to see if there's any other. I don't want to take too much time, but let's see what else we have right here. Jilt, right? Like abandoned cart recovery system. Let's see. PayPal, obviously. TaxJar has a direct integration in with WooCommerce. This is not the case with all platforms. However, because Google just came out with a plugin, not necessarily for WooCommerce, but Google just came out with a free plugin. And if I'm not mistaken, Google has a whole team that's just dedicated to assisting the thing that is powering this, a third of the internet now. Just to assist with integrating their services in with that. But I'll do more about that later on in a future video. And I actually need to do it sooner rather than later. There's a thing called Google Sidekick. I do recommend looking that up, or staying close to kevinwright.cc's website, or sign up for our email newsletter, so that you get this information directly emailed to your inbox. But nevertheless, when it comes to WooCommerce, the integrations are endless and very beneficial for your store. Along with those integrations, you can see that I'm on the free integrations here. However, there are paid extensions. So let's just go to all extensions, for instance, and you can see if you wanted to offer subscriptions on your website. So if you wanted to do billing subscriptions on your website, if you wanted the go-to plugin for that, there's Woo subscriptions, and it's $199 a year for one website. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you something else. Let's go ahead and go to WordPress.org. And then let's click on plugins. This is basically the free plugin repository for WordPress as a whole. And I'm going to type in WooCommerce subscriptions. So if we come here, let's see, you've got a plugin here. You've got a free plugin here to offer subscriptions. Let's see. Let me actually type in subscription billing. Doesn't look like that's one that it likes. Well, the idea of what I'm trying to get you to see, let me just go ahead and type in WooCommerce. The idea of what I want you to get you to see is that all of these plugins that you see right here, like for instance, right now, WooCommerce has 4 million active installations, right? Stripe plugin, 500,000 integrations. If you wanted to do WooCommerce PDF invoices and packaging slips, you can see that this is an option here. All of these plugins are basically free, and I'm just scrolling through them. Variation swatch. So basically, improve the product page when it comes to swatches on your website. You can export out data to an Excel spreadsheet, which actually isn't common for a lot of self-hosted platforms. All of these plugins, and there's a total of 49 pages at the very, let's see, is there more than that? Okay, yeah, total of 49 pages of just free plugins that you can install on your website to enhance your WooCommerce website. So the idea is just that the possibilities are very, very endless, meaning that these are just plugins that are on the free repository. Obviously, there's paid versions, but if you want to create your own, you can very well do so. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some of the cons. So the first con I want to talk about is that while all of this is free, there is a fee that you do have to pay to use this, meaning that you do have to have hosting. It is 2019, so hosting is a thing that you do need to invest in. Maybe early on, you can get those little cheap cPanel hosting accounts where, it's $3 a month and that's it, right? Installing WooCommerce and getting these integrations, you do want to get some reliable hosting. I don't necessarily want to say expensive, but reliability, you do get what you pay for in most cases. So, spending, anywhere between, 15, 20, 30, 50, $100 a month for hosting is typical in 2019, and it's very well worth it. But I'm speaking about it as a con. So if as a con, so the idea is just that if you're looking for something where you're not needing to spend too much money, and you are looking to scale your business, meaning that you most definitely want to make sure that you've got good hosting where your website's running fast and it has 99.9 uptime at a minimum. The idea is just that could be very expensive. It could be a very expensive bill to end up having. From there is no 1-800 number to contact. So the upside to open source is that you can do whatever you want. The downside, if you're somebody that does need the pleasure of being able to call somebody to fix your issues, kind of is the downside to open source as well. Meaning that I don't want to mislead you and make it seem like you can't get issues resolved. If we come here to the repository and let's say you had an issue with WooCommerce, right? Well, they do have a support tab here where you can submit support inquiries here. And then they also do have a support system here as well. It's all done by email, support policy here, right? It's all done by email. However, once again, there's no 1-800 number. So you basically are support for your own website, or you would need to outsource support to a company like me to kind of troubleshoot and handle, all issues that you may end up running into. Managing updates is the third con. So as time goes on, because this is WordPress is an open source platform, you can look at the code, and if there's any vulnerabilities within that code to allow people to hack into your website and do malicious things, there is constant updates. That's actually a good thing, that the fact that there are updates. It's just that it's a reality that, I could simply need to update my plugin because there's an update, and that update could potentially alter my website for the worse, meaning that it could potentially take my website down, which I've used WordPress for quite some time, and I think maybe all of 2 times have I ever ran into a major issue with any of the clients that I work with. However, this is this is a potential thing that you can go through, right? And when that potential thing happens, you got to realize there is no 1-800 number to call to easily get you back up and running, right? Sending a support ticket, having to reach out to somebody, an expert that can go out and troubleshoot this issue could cost you some money if you don't already have somebody on staff kind of doing that, monitoring your website for you. So the biggest thing is just that managing updates can be, or can potentially be, an issue. Now, I do have to say that literally, I think just 2 days ago, there was a vulnerability, and a couple of websites that I was hosting needed to update their plugins immediately. But once again, the hosting company that we now partner with, being WP Engine, their hosting is $35 a month, right? However, that $35 and it was the first time that I ever got an email from them like this. That $35 a month had them send us out an email so that I can tell all my clients, like, hey, if you're running WooCommerce, update your plugin immediately. There's a vulnerability. You want to get that stuff updated. So the idea is just that you get a cheaper hosting plan, maybe not get that level of service. And the last con that I want to go over when it comes to WooCommerce is there. I hate to say this, but after building websites for so long, it does seem to be a learning curve. And when I say does seem to be a learning curve, I mean it does seem to be a learning curve. When I look at the other platforms, while a Shopify, a BigCommerce, which I'll talk about more here shortly, Squarespace to some degree, Wix, Weebly, while there seems to be, I don't necessarily want to say like it's all the same, but it just seems less daunting for the people that I've worked with, which we're talking about a couple hundred people, with getting them online to sell products, that they would prefer that platform's experience in uploading and managing products and sales versus WooCommerce. Now, mind you, me personally, I don't see a problem with it, but I work in WordPress all day, every day. So the idea is just that my personal preference or my statement to that, which once again, I do stand behind my personal experience where I would say there is a learning curve. I would personally say for myself, you don't really understand anything until you just work in it, meaning that I think maybe a year or so ago, I got into the back end of Wix and I said, hey, let me go ahead and play around with Wix, right? I found somebody that needed some updates to Wix. I'm like, how hard could it be? It's supposed to be one of the easiest platforms to build a website, whatever. I had the hardest of times trying to figure out how to use that thing. And I don't want to say that it was hard to use. I just want to say that I've just been so accustomed to how WordPress and WooCommerce work that I had to completely learn a new system. And I was trying to do it very quickly. So the idea is just that, is it hard? I wouldn't necessarily say it's hard out of the box. However, if you are accustomed to using any other platform or just accustomed to wanting to just flat out understand how everything works, then I would say there is a bit of a learning curve to understand how WooCommerce works at a default, in comparison to some of the other platforms where you can just really just jump right on in, and the learning curve is very small in comparison to a WooCommerce. But nevertheless, that's my review of WooCommerce. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Here we have Shopify. For the most part, Shopify, I'm just actually read it here. Build your website. It's basically, you've got the wheel, we've got the way, or they've got the way. And basically this is I like this statement here because I can actually say I agree with this. One platform with all the e-commerce and point of sales features you need to specifically start, run, and grow your business, right? And completely agree with that. I am a Shopify partner, and I do have to reiterate, none of the links in my review in the show notes are affiliate links, even though I am an affiliate and partner or expert, that's what they call us, through Shopify. But this statement here, I would say, is very, very true. I've back in the big cartel days when everybody was building websites with big cartel, Shopify was like the next best thing for a lot of businesses to jump into, and moving them from big cartel to Shopify has allowed them to grow their business big time. But from that, let's go ahead and jump into some of the pros with what Shopify offers. And I might actually dive a little bit more than what the 4 that I have. Let's see. Actually, I have 5. So the biggest thing is that you can be up and running quickly. What I mean by quickly, literally, I mean quickly. I mean, you go to the site, they give you 2 free weeks. However, you work with an expert, you could potentially ask for an unlimited free trial account if you're really just if you know you're not going to be ready to be up and running in 2 weeks. But it's very, very easy to get up and running. You go in, you sign up for the service, sign up for the free trial. They've got a handful of free themes. It's very easy to add your products, sign up for your payment gateway. I mean, literally, if you were to give it a good hour and DIY out your website, you can be up and running, ready to sell your products, right? So that is a benefit, meaning that's how small that learning curve is with Shopify. The second thing is that all major things you need to sell are available out the box. So if we head over to the pricing features, and what I mean out of the box is meaning if you sell products in person or online, Shopify has exactly what you need. It's got the website. You can purchase a domain name through their system. Obviously, you can buy one from any other service provider that provides domain names and link it to it, but you can get your domain name through them. You can use their payment gateway. They have what's called Shopify Payments. I say this loosely because there is a con with that. Shopify Payments does not work with all services and products available. Specifically, the hair industry is where I've seen that this has been a big blow to them. But nevertheless, gives you the online store. You can sell unlimited products. You can sell products online with their payment gateway. You can purchase a domain name directly through them. And above that, they give you a point of sales app and a chip reader for free. If you're able to use, the free part is if you use Shopify Payments, meaning that you'll be able to literally within this hour setting everything up, you'll be able to sell your products in person and online and have all the tools that you need. Hardware, peripheral support, meaning that you can buy third-party stuff, but if you sign up for Shopify Payments, they do give you a free chip reader to use for that. Another benefit is, the apps. So you do get a dedicated app to manage your store. So adding products, inventory, and things of that nature. And then you also get a dedicated app for the point of sale so that you can sell in person from your phone, iPad, if you got a kiosk thing. The idea is that you can literally sell it. And one of the biggest benefits to that point of sales is that if you're managing your inventory in Shopify, when you sell in person, it'll deduct all of that from online. So early on, technology has come so far, but it used to, you used to have to manage inventory when you would sell online or in person separately, depending on what kind of platform you used. And with Shopify, awesome inventory management system. Once again, it manages both online sales and in-person sales all through these apps. Another thing, one of the bigger things, and their blog is so good that I know people that don't use Shopify that at least come to their website for the blog. So that is the next thing that I want to go over is cover learn, click on blog. So they have probably one of the best blogs when it comes to e-commerce as far as the content they put out. They put content out on a regular basis, and they've always consistently every year, I think, improved on the content that they put out. They have an academy where they actually have Shopify customers that actually talk about how they use Shopify, get online and do everything. And this is free, like 100% free. So it's very, very beneficial. And the idea is just that the content's so good that it's not just for Shopify people who run business. If you're just interested in business content, the Shopify blog is awesome. And then the last pro is just that it is truly just easy to use. I just have to reiterate that. Like, it is just easy to use. The learning curve is very, very small between the blog, just the interface, all the features and functionality. It is just very, very, very easy to use. Now, with that being said, there's a few cons. Customization is limited when it comes to Shopify. Now, I know that there's some people that I've spoken with that are like, well, it's not really all that limited. And I would say in comparison to when you really start talking about like a WordPress open source platform, you really get to dive into what I specifically mean by customize. So you can't customize the cart page. You can't customize the checkout page, meaning that if you wanted to say, hey, on the checkout page, I wanted to do an upsell right before the pay now button, like where they can check something and say like, hey, let's sell them something for an additional $10 before they check out. That is something that you cannot do with the Shopify platform. There are certain things that they do not allow you to customize, I think for a good reason. However, it's a self-hosted platform, right? So they just can't have everybody doing I think it's more beneficial for them to have one straightforward system that everybody uses. That way, when people are calling for support, you can only have so many different problems with the same platform that operates the same exact way, right? So the idea is just that, customization is limited. And if you're one of the people that like, hey, I want to do any and everything with my website, customization to some degree is limited. Some degree. I don't want to say this is a major thing. Like, you can edit the product pages depending on what theme you have. You can get custom websites built. It's just that when you get to some of these specific pages, most of these specific pages at the most only allows you to add your logo, maybe a background image, and change the colors. But as far as the functionality, asking what questions get filled out during the checkout process, that's all managed by Shopify. Okay, Shopify, this is the pricing part, right? So Shopify, very cost effective for what you get, right? $29 a month. Most people that I work with, $29 a month option works. The only time that most of my clients would ever upgrade is because they want to offer the gift cards. That's typically the only reason why they ever find themselves really wanting to upgrade, which out of maybe the 150-ish websites we probably have gotten people on with Shopify, maybe 2 of them have jumped up to that area. Because there are some apps on which I'm going to actually touch on. There are some apps that you can integrate in that may be a little bit cheaper to get the gift card functionality. But Shopify has a good system for that. Now, with the apps, your base cost is $29 a month at minimum. And if they still do it, it should be $300 a year, meaning that they give you too much free if you pay for the year. That $29 can easily jump to you paying almost $200, $150 to $200 a month, just getting simple things that you would want on your website. So for instance, if you want a Shopify feed, let's just say you're using one of the free themes on Shopify. One of the free themes, they got some pretty awesome themes that are just free to use. And they just recently added 1 or 2 that I really do like that they added. It's a little bit more modern. Let's say you want an Instagram feed that they can click on and view products, right? You can tag products on your website that they can click on. Fashion Nova has this feature. I think that there's an app that you can install on your Shopify site that's $29 as well a month. Let's say you need let's say you need some on the product page, you need some major customizations to the options that you select, right? Like, let's say you need a drop down, a text field for customers to fill out. You need different color swatches. You need people to be able to upload images to the product. Like, you got this, right? Need that functionality. That's probably another $29 a month. So right now we're at $90. Let's say you want to add in an email marketing system that does cart abandonment, any other kind of feature, right? I think there's a app on there that I use for 2 clients that's like $79 a month. So basically, we're at, what is that? We're at 90 now with those 2 apps plus the $29. Add the $80 for the additional app. So we're at basically $160. And then let's say you want to add in, I don't know, just maybe a chat bot that's running through the thing. And I think even too, some of the shipping plugins that you want to get integrated in that help you manage your shipping labels, like even they charge a fee to integrate in with Shopify, which when it comes to WordPress, where they charge on Shopify, some of them don't even charge on WordPress. But nevertheless, I'm not trying to compare the two as far as that's concerned. I'm just more or less of saying that this $29 a month can easily, and when I say easily turn into a $200 bill, at least close enough to it. So do keep that in mind. They're all good. They're all good platforms. They're all, for the most part, all good developers. I don't think they just let any and everybody just develop a plugin or app for their store. However, I can say that if you do get any free plugins, typically, or free apps, I call them plugins, but for Shopify they call them plugins. If you do get any free plugins, apps for Shopify, typically they're branded. So, you've got the branding of the company, which is understandable, right? If I'm going to give you a free thing, I would love to be able to put my logo on it so that other people can see what we're using. But the idea is just that can get very costly very quickly. Shopify payments, they do promote Shopify payments very heavily in the back end of the website. So like when you're signing up for your payment gateway, at the top, it's big as day. I mean, you cannot deny you would want Shopify payments. The issue that I have seen is that I do a lot of websites for hair companies, and prior to Shopify payments becoming Shopify payments, they used to let you link up with Stripe. Well, Stripe is no longer, and from what I understand, from what I see, no longer, ever since Shopify payments has been a thing, Stripe is no longer available, meaning that I believe that Shopify payments is basically Stripe. Or no, it is, because it says powered by Stripe. And because of that, Shopify payments are able to create their own terms and conditions for who can use that version of Stripe. And they do not allow you to sell hair extensions. Why is that key? Well, when I was in the peak of designing websites, I was doing a lot of hair websites and putting a lot of people on Shopify if they weren't going to use WooCommerce. Well, in short, once they got rid of the Stripe integration and turned it into Shopify payments, a lot of them could no longer use Shopify payments. They had to sign up for another service. That other service was PayPal, and they specifically were using Stripe because they didn't like the way PayPal were using terms and conditions work when it just comes to doing disputes. That's a high risk industry selling hair extensions. So the idea is just that, while Shopify may be very, very good as far as what they promote online, I can most definitely say that because it is a self-hosted platform, you can potentially not be available to use all of the tools that they do provide. Meaning that if you can't use Shopify payments, they don't send you a free chip reader. So it's kind of like all of the benefits that I told you kind of easily get taken away from you depending on what you're selling. Shopify does say they have award-winning support, right? I think I ran a Shopify website maybe for a month. So I don't think that I had enough time to actually use them to say if their support was good or not. However, if you remember, I just said a few minutes ago, I've done a couple hundred, I've done a couple. If at the very least, if I've not consulted with people that have already had Shopify websites or set people up on the Shopify platform, I've been able to talk to enough people that have had to call Shopify for support. And while they say they have award-winning support, and they are available 24/7. I mean, you can chat with them, you can email them, you can call them 24/7, right? I can officially say that when I have talked to every client that has ever had to contact Shopify support, they all say that support is not stellar, right? A lot of the people that they speak to, it just seems like they're just trying to figure it out. So when you call them with an issue, they're basically just trying to simply figure out, what to do with your issue. Meaning that it's kind of like if you were to say like something was broken and you were just trying to figure it out, they're doing basically that thing with your store. They're not like, oh, I see exactly what the issue is. Let's just get it fixed, So the idea is just that while, once again, they say they have award-winning support, probably over the last 4 or 5 years, probably had maybe about 20, 30 people total. Not to say that everybody calls Shopify with issues, but over that span of time, when I do talk to people that do say they have issues and they don't want to deal with Shopify support, they call me to attempt to get the issue resolved. So the idea is just that support, maybe not as stellar as they think, but once again, I'm only speaking from the 20 to 30 people that I've specifically spoken with, and all of them had a consistent story. When I say consistent, meaning that they felt like they could have just sat in front of their computer and actually fixed it themselves versus having to call somebody and make it seem like they're just trying to figure it out. From there, let's go ahead and move on to the next platform, being BigCommerce. So BigCommerce, I can't say too much about this, but I'm really hoping this is a very, very good thing. Being with BigCommerce, yesterday, and once again, it's 1:00 in the morning now. Yesterday, I had a call. I became a BigCommerce partner and all this stuff. So, I really like what they're doing. In my blog, if you're referencing there or even in the show notes, you'll see that. Let's go over BigCommerce. I'm excited about this. I really, really hope that BigCommerce just becomes a very, very major player when it comes to e-commerce in the way that I need them to be. They've kind of, and the funny thing is that I'm gonna dive into it, but Shopify tried it and they pulled out. And I think for obvious reasons, but I think BigCommerce is like, hey, we're just good as is. But I'm gonna jump into that. So for the most part, BigCommerce, scale your online business your way, get more features out of the box to build, run, and scale your business, to scale a better online business without any of the hidden fees, right? So BigCommerce, like I said, I've always known about BigCommerce, but I have never used them. And as of this video, I have not used them. So that's why I'm saying that take what I'm saying with a grain of salt as of right now. I am testing it out a little bit. So everything that I'm talking about as of right now, when it comes to BigCommerce, is just based off of the conversation what I had with what I had is based off of the conversation with myself, with my partner manager with BigCommerce that I had yesterday, along with the research that I've done. All of this I've done heavy research on, not just so that it's going off of what I'm saying, but based off of what other blogs have said. And I've kind of developed these pros and cons. So with BigCommerce, one thing that I really, really do like is the they've got this multi-channel selling thing. Shopify actually provides this, meaning that you can submit your Shopify catalog to Facebook. You can submit it to eBay, Amazon, and a couple of other platforms, right? But from what I see with BigCommerce, I mean, if they'll accept any kind of integration, if a third party platform, being like an Amazon and all these other platforms, allows you to integrate your catalog in with it, BigCommerce seems to allow you to do this. So let's see, integrate with apps, ship it from me. I didn't pull up too many. Oh, here it goes. Sell everywhere. eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Square. So the payment gateway, Square, your Square shop. Google Shopping, like their platform integration thrives, I think, in that area based off of what I see, even from the from me playing with it on the back end. So that is a very, very good thing that I noticed. It integrates in with many tools, marketing tools and stuff like that. So if we click on features and integrate with apps, let's see, shipping apps, marketing conversion apps, ERP, CRMs, all kind of stuff. Like this thing integrates, right? And they've got a dedicated app store. You can kind of see a screenshot over here to the right that kind of shows you a few things. This was actually the integration that actually finally got. I was speaking with a client in the Yacht Po, if I'm saying that right. Integration was basically what officially said, okay, cool. My client wants this system. Started looking it up and understanding what it does. Saw that BigCommerce popped up with it for whatever reason, and that's what actually had me dive deeper into this. But anyway, integrates with a lot of features, and I personally think, based off of what I'm seeing, right? Because Shopify integrates with a lot of services. Once again, they have a app store. But what I'm looking at with BigCommerce, I'm liking what I'm seeing with BigCommerce a little bit more than with what I'm seeing with the app availability and how their system works with Shopify. Another pro of what I see with BigCommerce is that I mean, the learning curve does seem to be way smaller than with WooCommerce. If I had to like assume, once again, we have not fully tested this out with actually providing the service with clients yet. However, I think it is way smaller than WooCommerce's learning curve, but maybe a little bit bigger than Shopify, but in a good way in comparison to Shopify, because they thrive in a lot of integration stuff where Shopify, I don't think does. So this back end navigation bar that you see in this screenshot here, it does do a lot. And to kind of touch on the multi-channel selling. So, because I really want to make this clear, why I really do like this. So let's say, think of BigCommerce as the end all be all to your product. From what I understand, the end all be all to this is where I want my products to live and be managed in BigCommerce. But I want my BigCommerce to integrate with 3 different websites. Basically saying, from what I'm looking at, it looks like, let's say I sell 3 products. But I've got a store on the north, south, east, west, and south side of town. North, south, east, and west side of town, right? I don't have to have 3 BigCommerce websites to do this. Meaning that I could have 4 completely different websites, all in their own domain name, maybe even under their own different names. But BigCommerce is going to allow me to integrate in with all 4 of those websites while all of it's being ran through my one BigCommerce account. I'll still be able to see which store is getting the sales and who's doing what. So I say all of that to really, really stress the fact that BigCommerce is more than just an e-commerce platform. Like, it actually really does manage and distribute your product catalog to to multiple sales channels. And it's not just, like I said, we talked about Amazon, we talked about Google Shop. What was it? Features, sell everywhere. eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Square, Google Shopping. Like, if you just got multiple websites, it's beneficial to that degree as well. So from there, just continue to go down my list. My favorite part. All right. It integrates in with WordPress as a headless e-commerce solution. Right. So if you notice about the 4 websites that I was talking about, I was referencing if you've got a WordPress website. Okay. Because I'm excited about this and I hope that this works. And the reason why I say that is because years ago, Shopify, hold on, let me see. I'm taking a detour in this. And if you're listening to this, I'm actually pulling up a different website. Shopify WordPress integration. Let's see. WordPress e-commerce shopping cart for WordPress. No, this isn't it. This is not it. WordPress e-commerce simplified. No, this is not it. They had WP Shopify. Shopify Word 3 Shopify WordPress plugin. Let's see. Shopify WordPress integration theme. It was something they were doing. Introducing Shopify. Yes. So March 15, 2016. Sell on simplify theme. Blah, 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 blah. Download for free. Start selling for $9 a month. So this, what you're seeing here, actually ended. Oh, here it goes. Update. The plugin is no longer available. Please visit the Shopify Help Center to help with using the buy button to embed code on the WordPress website. So basically, they were trying to allow you to use the Shopify platform in WordPress, and they ended it, right? Meaning that I think this is probably one of the first times, at least I've noticed, where a complete platform was basically looking to go headless, or for the reference of what we're looking here now, basically say, hey, you can use our system on your platform, content management platform. So we don't care what system you use for your website. Let us power the e-commerce portion of it, right? And that's exactly what BigCommerce is actually allowing us to do. So BigCommerce, and I'm spending like some time on this BigCommerce WordPress because one, I don't have too many cons to actually too many cons to do this tailor-made. Okay, so a commerce engine tailor-made for WordPress, scalable headless commerce on WordPress is one plugin away. So in short, you can have a WordPress website that fully integrates in with BigCommerce, and through that integration, there's a lot of benefit for that. It taxes less on your server. You get the benefit of being able to have a company that you can rely on and actually call on the phone for support. Right? Remember, with WooCommerce, you are support for the most part. And if you need help, you're either needing to hire somebody, you're needing to do email support, join a forum board to submit a ticket, right? With this, you're able to use the system, the open source platform that is powering 1/3 or more as of now, maybe, of the internet. So you get all of that benefit, right? And still be able to use what's called a SaaS or hosted platform that integrates in seamlessly with your WordPress website, meaning that you get the support, you get all the bells and whistles, and let's go ahead and essentials. If we click on pricing, it's no different in pricing. It's $30 basically a month here. There's no difference in the pricing from what you see here. Obviously, there's a little bit on tax on in. So this is $29 a month for the basic account. This is $29.95 a month. But the benefit is, I can't stress it enough. The benefit of being able to use WordPress, one of the most SEO optimized platforms to build a website with, it integrates in with everything literally, because you can see BigCommerce is betting on WordPress with them wanting to integrate in with it. It's just, and while I was saying WooCommerce is the most customizable e-commerce platform, WordPress once again falls in that same line. You can do whatever you want to do with WordPress. You can even Google. WordPress actually controlled a plane. It's a content management system. So the idea is that WordPress is a very powerful platform on its own, and being able to integrate in with this, I really do find to be a very, very beneficial thing. And literally for the extra $95 on top of Shopify, on paper, this here I'm very excited about. But enough about that. Let me move on to the last bullet point. My last bullet point for the pros is it allows you to focus in on, which almost all platforms, but specifically BigCommerce. When I was talking to my to the rep yesterday about this particular platform, she really did stress that by partnering up with us, she made it a point for this. By partnering up with us, meaning that me partnering up with them, but basically if anybody was to use the BigCommerce platform, you can really they really let you know, like, hey, we're the professionals on making sure that we provide you the service of making sure your products are very well maintained. You got the proper integrations that are available, meaning that being able to sell on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Square, Google Shopping, like allowing us to focus in on developing these relationships and these integrations to these services, the support and all of the back end stuff. You're partnering up with the brand and make sure that we're going to stay on top of that, right? However, on the back end, or not however, in addition to that, that allows you to truly focus in on your business, on what you do best, which is managing your business and selling your product to your customers while not having to worry about all of the integrations and all of the technical stuff with the e-commerce platform. And I really did like that about them, right? So that is all of my pros as of now. I can't stress this enough. I really, truly do hope they stay with what they're doing. They stay integrated because, like I said, I'm very excited for my personal clients because I'm all about support in 2019. And every move that we've been doing as of late, being Uncommon Ink in my business, that's the name of my business, Uncommon Ink, where we design websites. The idea is just that I'm very keen on making sure that whenever we're developing a website and we're utilizing other services, we want to make sure, one, we're partnered with them and we thoroughly understand their business model, being BigCommerce, Shopify, and even the hosting company, WP Engine, who we just recently partnered up with, actually less than a month ago, for being our hosting provider. The idea is just that I really want to make sure that my clients are in good hands. And as of right now, on paper and via the conversation I had, BigCommerce seems to be a good platform for that. Now, some of the cons on paper, and it really just depends on how you look at it. Because, I don't want to be biased. I didn't want to just say like, oh, I don't see a problem with them. I mean, there could be potential problems depending on how your business model or things to consider. I don't necessarily want to say cons, but as your business scales with BigCommerce, you do need to pay more. Whereas with a Shopify or WooCommerce, what you're paying is what you're paying, right? There's no mandatory upgrade, meaning that if I scroll down, you do get a lot of stuff. Like I said, the sales channels all are included. My arm's itching a little bit. Let's see. But when we get down, let's see here. So on a 12-month scale, right? If you're making 50K or less, you're good with the $29.95 plan. However, if you're making anything over that, then they do move you up to the, basically their $79.95 plan. And based on my conversation with the rep that I spoke with yesterday, the idea is just that they've got servers. The servers need to be managed, maintained, and running. So if you're basically doing this type of traffic and sales, we need to charge you more. Right. And then from there, if you do anything over this 150, obviously you'll jump to the $249.95 plan. Now, as I say this is a con, I'm saying this as it being a con in comparison to, the WooCommerce Shopify thing. However, like I said, this is a completely different offering that BigCommerce offers. So the idea is just that while I'm saying it's a con, I'm actually saying that I don't mind this, right? If I'm making $51,000 plus, right, paying this $80 a month, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a problem, given the fact that this $80 is getting me the, where am I at? Specifically, and I'm talking from a WordPress standpoint, the 24/7 live agent support, right? Versus me using WooCommerce for free and not having to pay that. But then basically I'm just losing stuff by not paying for it. Right. What is it? I can offer at that point I can offer stored credit cards, I can store credit cards. Persistent cart, basically improve a customer's experience by saving their shopping carts to the account. Like there's just things, I don't even think that I've seen this with Shopify, to be honest with you. You do get the abandoned cart saver, which is actually pretty cool. The abandoned cart saver is not just an email that goes out. Shopify offers some form of an abandoned cart system. However, it's very vanilla. It's like you get an email with a link, right? And it's a very simple email. It's just an email. But this abandoned cart saver, it allows you to include a coupon code in it and all that kind of stuff. And if you remember what I said about Shopify, you can get an app that's $79. I don't want to say what the app is because there's quite a few of them out there. and I don't want to just drive all this traffic to one business for that feature, because that's not what this video is. But there is an app that you can pay $79 a month to that does a few things, right? To getting conversions, offering coupon codes, upsells, downsells, and stuff like that. And I'm saying that exact price, almost $79.95, is that extra 95 cents. The idea is that simply upgrading here, you immediately get like 3 apps that you would have to get individually through Shopify. So it's almost like where you're spending closer towards that $150, $200 that I was talking about with Shopify. I don't care if you're doing the 150K up to 150K or not. This $80 a month plan is very, very, very intriguing to me. You get an average discount of 66% off of shipping. And like I said, it just comes with a lot of stuff. But nevertheless, I do have to look at this as some form of a downside. As the more successful I get, right, the more income I generate, I do need to pay more money. Whereas with the previous 2 options, you don't have to. That's not a piece in with how they bill you. And then the last thing, and mind you, I only got 2 cons for this one, but there's no app, at least as of now. There's no app that you can manage your store with, at least as of now. And I got that bit of information through research. However, I can easily see them making this a thing. Once again, through talking to the rep that I spoke with yesterday, they did make it very, very clear that they are looking to improve a lot of stuff with their platform. However, out of the box, I think WooCommerce is a pretty awesome platform. Now, from here, we are going into 3 platforms that is pure research based, purely off of me talking to some of my peers that use these platforms. So I cannot talk highly about them, or not highly. I cannot talk from the aspect of like, hey, I've put somebody on this platform for e-commerce, because the truth is that I have not. However, I did want to include these 3 platforms as being Square, Wix, and Weebly, because while it's 2019. If you were looking to be online, you're online to some degree. And if you're looking to DIY a website, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, along with a Shopify, but we've talked about them. The idea is just that you maybe have used one of those 4 platforms, given the fact that they do market, they do market their brands, and they do like advertising and stuff like that. So the idea is that they do have a lot of marketing share when visibility. So the idea is just that I did want to hit on some pros and cons from the research that I've done, and once again from the conversations that I've had with these particular platforms for clients that use these platforms. So Squarespace, heard a lot of good things about this one, I've heard a lot of good things about this one. Basically, Squarespace's motto from their about pages: Squarespace empowers people with creative ideas to succeed. Right? I see a lot of people on YouTube promoting this. It's the all-in-one platform that no updates, no patches, no upgrades or anything like that. Right? And I believe when you hear that, it's kind of like a stab at WordPress. But nevertheless, but to that note, because there's no patches, no upgrades, I'm like, so you're not getting better, because that's basically what happens with WordPress whenever they do that stuff. Better security, better platforms. But we're done talking about WordPress. Let's stay with Squarespace. So with Squarespace, the pros that I've seen, the pros that I've researched, the pros that I've got from people that actually have Squarespace websites are: it's easy to use and it's easy to set up. Pretty much what I've heard is Squarespace is the equivalent of a Shopify when you talk about ease of use, getting up and running. They do say that it's not necessarily you'll be up and running in an hour. However, with the templates and the things that they provide for website owners, the idea for people that are looking to be online, it is an easy platform, to get set up with. One of my personal things that I like about Squarespace, that I know about, right? I knew about this. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and click on pricing. And then let's go ahead and so at this, now mind you, this is the annual, this is what it comes out per month annually. However, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the pay monthly. And what I'm looking at here now is the advanced e-commerce for $46 per month. Let's see. Abandoned cart recovery. The main thing that I like is, all right, sell subscriptions. Start selling subscriptions to products and services on a weekly or monthly basis and generate recurring revenue, automatic recharging and payment retries, make it easier to build customer loyalty. So basically this option here, I mean, it's only available for their $46 a month option. However, when you do the math and you look at what Squarespace offers, you know, with WooCommerce, that's a $200 a year bill on top of your hosting and any other integrations. Whereas with Squarespace, I can say that I do like that. Put it like this, they could have eliminated the sell subscriptions altogether and still probably charge us $46 a month. However, they did include it, and I do like with what they're offering overall. They do allow businesses to get online and make the reoccurring revenue. So I do personally like that. Along with that, if it's nothing else that you'll hear a lot of people around the WordPress industry talk about is that if you're not going to get a WordPress website and you're left with building a website with Squarespace, Wix, or Weebly, use Squarespace. And the reason why I'm specifically saying use Squarespace is that their templates are nice and clean. And if you're looking to DIY your website, it's very hard with what I've seen to make a Squarespace website just look bad, you know, meaning that a lot of people use these templates, but then they go in and then try to customize everything. And then that's what actually makes these websites look bad, which is one of the reasons why I don't too much like a Wix or a Weebly website. Quite frankly, because I think I've seen out of the 10 years that I've been building websites, and since Wix has been around, I've seen one website that I was like, this is a nice looking website and it's built with Wix. All the other websites that I've ever seen, I've never seen another good looking Wix website. I think it was like for a financial company or something like that. But anyway, this is my thoughts on Squarespace as the pros. Now, as far as the cons are concerned, typically with self-hosted platforms, you only get a few payment gateway options to use with Squarespace, which means that it limits the amount of people that can actually use Squarespace. Once again, if you only want to use a specific payment platform and it's not supported by Squarespace, you know, obviously you wouldn't be too inclined to using Squarespace. And that's basically one of the biggest things. It's kind of like, hey, if you're going to offer the e-commerce platform, right, I would really, really want access to really all payment gateways, at least all major ones, to be able to run my business with. So that way I've got some options to go with. From there, there's no phone support with Squarespace or anything like that. All email based off of what I see. Let's see. Do you offer email accounts? Do you sell domain? I wanted to actually see if we were able to help and support. Yeah. So they've got community forums, contact us. Yeah. So obviously you can see, their support basically is going to run you through something that's going to attempt to answer your question via making a few selections here, or possibly just sending them some form of email. Our support team is available 24/7 and usually responds in well under an hour. Yeah, so email support and stuff like that. So one of my downside to that is that when I look at a Shopify, when I look at a BigCommerce, and I see with what they're charging, right? I'm saying that for $29, I get 24/7 customer support. With BigCommerce, I get 24/7 customer support. When I come to Squarespace, I don't get 24-hour customer support. And I'm looking at the $30 a month, meaning that they're actually charging. Well, I don't get 24/7 customer support where I can call you on the phone. Let me make that clear. And if I'm not mistaken, I do get 24/7 customer support with BigCommerce. I'm gonna have to double check with that. I really am gonna have to double check with that because that I did not ask her. Do we get it here? No, we don't get it here. I remember we don't. The team is out right now, but they'll get back to you soon. Yeah. So that I don't get. I'm gonna have to check out the BigCommerce end, and if they don't offer it, that might be something that I'll be sure to update y'all on this here. Now, with that being said, they do charge, quote unquote, technically the most because they're $30 a month at a bare minimum. And I'm like, if I can get it here for $20 less, it's almost like, well, it'd be nice to be able to call you if I got a problem, given that there's other platforms I can get that support from as well. And then the last thing is, once again, integrations. I mean, there's marketing is always changing day in and day out. There's always a new feature, new function, new something that that's being developed for websites to take advantage of when it comes to marketing. And Squarespace, I mean, for the most part, if it's not a part of the Squarespace ecosystem and it's not embeddable, the idea is just that you're pretty much not looking to be able to use it. So the integration piece, not so much available. I do know in recent years, I don't know. I know that at one point, complete customization with CSS and JavaScript. If this was always the thing, I didn't know that. But I know that when this platform first came out, it was like that was one of the things that I was hearing is just that it does lack customization when it comes to the code. But from what I see here now, this has been a thing that is here recently. And I got that from actually one of my peers that exclusively designs with Squarespace. She says that if there's ever anything that she needs to edit, she just does it through the CSS and JavaScript code, really CSS. Now here goes. I'm just mentioning them, and I'm not going to lie. I don't recommend these platforms. I'm starting off with the con. And if you're reading my blog post, it actually just says, in short, I just don't like them. This is completely personal opinion. So this has nothing to do with me actually doing research and even giving them the benefit of the doubt or just actually weighing them against the same exact standards that I did the previous four. I'm literally telling you from my personal opinion, it was hard for me to really find some pros for this. The con itself is just that I don't like these platforms, and I don't like them because, like I said, it's, in my opinion, there's two main reasons why I don't like this platform. One is that I've only been able to see one good Wix website. And to the defense of Weebly, Weebly was recently purchased by Square. So the website does look a whole lot cleaner. If you notice, this website is actually just as clean as Squarespace. So if you notice here, not too much of a difference when you look at the design and layout of everything. So the idea is just that, some similarities there. But I haven't heard anything good about this integration with Weebly as of yet. But and so until then, right, I'm literally just putting them in the same bucket, which I think Weebly may have gotten a little bit better since the e-commerce system did begin to integrate in. But nevertheless, right, the with Wix specifically, and I want to touch on Wix specifically, I hate with a passion their billing model, right? So when you come here, right, you immediately get introduced with a $13 a month option, $17 a month option, $22 and $39. Nothing's wrong with you having multiple billing options. I honestly believe that, right? You get 2 gigs of bandwidth, 3 gigs of storage. You can connect your own domain name. It removes the Wix ads, meaning that there is a free tier that they no longer actually show on this page anymore. You get 30 video minutes, upload up to 30 minutes of video for playback and high definition. Embedded videos are always free. And then you get a free domain name for the year, right? Cool. But then you jump into this next one, $17 a month. So then you get unlimited bandwidth, 10 gigs of storage, connect your own domain name. You still get to remove the Wix ads, obviously, right? I'm paying for the service. You get to double your video upload time. Then you just get, added value with vouchers, $300 ad voucher, site booster app, $60 value, visitor analytics app, $60 value. I mean, can I not just integrate Google Analytics, And then from there, you get the best value, $22 a month. And then you get all these additional things. However, these additional things, like you get an events calendar, professional logo, social media logo files. What is that? My thing is that I can't add my own social media logo files, whatever that is, like images, I'm assuming. And then there's this $39 a month plan where it looks like you just get priority support or priority response. Enter your question on our Wix answer page and your ticket will be pushed to the front of the line for a quicker response. And then you get the VIP support treatment, which looks like that could be just one bullet point. It looks like they just needed to add another bullet point. And then what is this? Skip the line with the exclusive VIP phone support. Your call is first priority Monday through Thursday from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Right? Okay. Now, mind you, this is not their e-commerce packages. I don't like this because, one, when I come to your site immediately, I see 4 plans. And none of these plans say that I can sell anything. However, when I click on business and e-commerce, I have to see a whole nother 4 plans. That means that you're selling 8 different packages. And from a consumer standpoint, it's kind of like, which one do I pick, right? I come to website. Let's say I sign up for the $22 plan, all to find out that I can't sell anything. So now I have to come here. And now it's kind of like, well, I can spend $1 extra, but you're saying this is the most popular plan. So I don't like that there's so many different options, and given the options that they provide, I just don't see the site booster app visit. I just don't see that. And considering that their SEO isn't the best at all, no matter what you do with those apps. But nevertheless, kind of the same billing model, right? Like, we're going to show you so many bullet points, and then we're going to come to the next plan and show you another 2 bullet points, right? From jump to jump, right? Basically, everything's the same, except now you can get Google Analytics integrated, right? Or at least they're saying you can get Google Analytics integrated. From there, you still get the free domain name, the app vouchers, and you still get the site booster app, visitor analytics app. But I've got Google Analytics, so I'm like, I don't know anybody that's better than Google Analytics right now. And then you get the professional logo. So I'm paying $27 a month. Am I renting the logo? Like, what happens with the logo when I'm finished with the paying for my service? And then you get this social media logo file. To the death of me. Get 40 plus different sizes of your logo ready to use on all your social media channels. Oh, come on, man. So then I got to pay $27 a month to get this social media logo files. Well, at least now I know what that is. So you get design service with it. I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing. I don't want to say it's bad, but anyway. You pay the $49 a month. You get the priority response, and you get the VIP support. It's limited Monday through Thursday, but they do offer it. And then from there, right, this is, one thing that I've learned with working with one of my clients was just that you come from spending, $20 to $30 to $500. Like, I'm like, what are we doing? Onboarding scale, maintenance, and infrastructure. When I look at this $500, I'm like, I just don't see why my favorite of the two on paper. Why would I spend that much money when I can do the $249 Still get the phone support. You actually still get the onboarding and all this other stuff, professional services, consult with industry-leading experts to target specific needs and challenges related to your project. Like, I'm like, how much of a specialty thing can you do when you offer 8 different packages for multiple different businesses? Business integration. Enjoy the benefits of our VIP business plan. Come on, man. I don't know. I don't like this. I really hope not too many people are signed up for this. I just don't like this. And then if you're looking to spend $500 a month, you can request a phone call, whereas I can't request this phone call with any of these cheaper plans. I mean, I'm with it. I get it. But that's my gripe with Wix. And in short, like I said, through Weebly, I just threw Weebly into this as well. Mainly because they basically have almost the same pricing structure, pay more, get more. And they just have, once again, these multiple plans. I find like this is a lot for somebody to really have to sit in and digest. As a let me actually go to online source. So it's a $12, $25, and $38 a month plan, right? If paid annually. The idea is that this is a lot for me to have to scroll through. Like, I'm a new business owner and I don't know what I need. Do I need the abandoned cart emails? I don't even know what this is, even though I do see the information on the website. That's when I hover over each line item. It's just that, in my opinion, it's too much for a new business owner to figure things out. Whereas meaning that in these companies' defenses, they do provide services for e-commerce and non-e-commerce businesses, big and small. It's just that I just have come to like the Shopify. If you want to sell product, go with a company, right, that specifically built their business around providing a very direct service, meaning that with Shopify, hands down, they are all e-commerce, meaning that I believe their blog content is the best around. When I look at all of these options available, whenever they provide free tools loosely, because they allow you to build your website, logo, and other stuff. They provide podcasts. They get people like Damon John to buy in and provide information on their platform. So Shopify focuses on e-commerce, and I want to be the best in e-commerce. BigCommerce, same exact thing. We're BigCommerce, and we're going to specialize in doing what we do. WooCommerce, this is what we do, e-commerce. But then when you start getting into the Squarespace, Wix, and Weebly, not to say that this is a bad thing, but it's just that they're not all the way in with e-commerce. Meaning that what I see is that now they have to produce quite a few different pricing options that allow them to have these multiple billing options. And I understand it, right? You get more, it's going to cost us more to do. It's just that I don't like the complexity. I don't see how we come from $23, $27, $49 to $500, right? I see this here, but $500 a month, I can't see this. I can see though $29, $79, $300. Oh, I thought this was $270. I doubt that they went up. I always thought this was $270. But nevertheless, I can see this jump given what all they actually offer in this very, very minimal list of things that they say they offer, right? But nevertheless, that's my take on all of these e-commerce platforms. Just to kind of recap everything. WooCommerce, very, very good platform. I would recommend WooCommerce. Man, if you're like a blogger and you're just selling, digital downloads, and I don't want to limit this. WooCommerce can scale very, very efficiently. It would take some time. I mean, you would need to either I would recommend working with somebody that knows exactly what they're doing with scaling, meaning like, let's say, hey, we're doing 1,000 sales a month, whatever the case may be. But if you're a blogger, small business owner, I can really selling digital goods, even physical goods for that matter. A lot of coffee shops use WooCommerce. They do have a blog. Let's see, develop support. I'm trying to see showcase. So like some of the businesses that do use, there it goes, celebrate 50% off. that use big WooCommerce, Weber. I actually use Weber products. So Weber, this is actually Weber South Africa, but nevertheless, I use Weber products. So Weber South Africa actually uses WooCommerce to sell their products. Let's see. Here goes a coffee business that sell coffee beans. An art company or artist uses WooCommerce. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Let's see. I'm just trying to. Oh, this was actually, I actually like this business product. You can basically get some air pressed coffee. They got a pretty cool website utilizing WooCommerce, so on and so forth. Like, I mean, these are just a few websites that are used. Wine, flower business, businesses, kids business, Sesame Place theme park, right, where they can sell tickets and stuff. So the idea is just that WooCommerce is used for a lot of different things. I would just say, based off of the clients that I work with, if you sell a handful of products and you want to be up and running and be able to manage everything through your main website, WooCommerce is completely with what I would recommend. The cost is very, very low, considering that WooCommerce is free, and you can really focus in on integrating in the services that you want or need. You can utilize the paid plugins through WooCommerce or any other plugin business that sells additional features for the WooCommerce plugin as a whole. Along with that, you can use the free plugins that you can find in the repository. So this is WooCommerce. Now when it comes to Shopify, good platform, man. I'm looking to be up, running, and running quick. I see that there's 8 other businesses. I got 8 other friends that use Shopify. They all love it. The $29 a month plan pretty much gets me where I need to be. The $79 a month I cannot pass up. Being able to offer gift cards and getting these professional reports. I love if you love the information that they provide via the blog, their academy, the podcast, and all that kind of good stuff. Shopify, once again, anybody can get on Shopify. One of the more popular names I think a lot of people would realize using Shopify is Kylie Jenner. Yeah, Kylie. Yeah, sells makeup. Almost anybody who sells makeup, and all honestly, is actually selling on Shopify. Let me tell it. I believe Macy's recently got like 10, 15 business owners to like start selling their product in their storefront. I think it's Macy's. It could be somebody else, but some big brand said, hey, we want to get a lot of these small business owners product in our store. And I believe, I think all 15 of them, when I was looking them up, all were running their website through Shopify. So Shopify, very popular company, very popular solution, very effective. And that's Shopify. BigCommerce, the one that I am the most excited about, based off of, once again, the conversation and me doing testing, and I'll be sure to update this story with an additional podcast at some point in time. I highly am excited to see how I can integrate in the hosted BigCommerce plan with a self-hosted WordPress website so that I can take the benefits of everything that WordPress offers and all of the benefits that BigCommerce offers and marry those two things together to provide a solution where you get the best of both worlds. All right. If you're not going to use WooCommerce, Shopify, or BigCommerce for that matter, Squarespace is where Kevin Wright is recommending you to go. Specifically, more or less on the design aspect of being able to design out your site. However, the biggest thing that I'm excited about with Squarespace is that on their highest tiered plan, they do allow the business owner to get reoccurring revenue, offer subscription-based billing with their e-commerce platform. Really, really like that. And that's Squarespace. That's why I would really recommend Squarespace. And to the customization as far as layout and design is there. It's just that it's limited with the payment gateways and a few things there. But, if you're able to use the more popular ones with there, I think that payment gateways is not necessarily an issue for you. Wix, Weebly, when would you want to use them? I mean, after looking at all the other ones, I don't know. I when it comes to the e-commerce plan, I really, really don't know. I mean, you can accept online payments. They don't charge any transaction fees. I mean, if you wanted to use them, hey, they're $23. But they don't offer phone support. I just, when would you use them? Man, I'm not gonna lie. If you like them, use them. Because I mean, at the end of the day, all of these platforms are gonna allow you to get online and sell your product as long as they allow you to sell your product. That's like the asterisk, right? So, when would you use them? I know people that use Wix, specifically Wix. That's the one that I hate the most. I thoroughly hate Wix. But utilizing Wix, yeah, man. Just utilizing Wix, they use it and they swear by it. Wix is easy. I love it. It does this, that, and the third. I'm like, awesome, man. Awesome. If it works for you, I'm not here to convince you otherwise. As a business, I think I'm more turned off of them from the business model. But nevertheless, if you're using Wix and it's working for you, you're getting sales, the conversion's good, man, don't leave them. Like, I'm not telling you to leave them at all. And then when it comes to Weebly, since the e-commerce is now powered by Square, I'm not too familiar with this version of Weebly. I'm not really too familiar with I don't want to say I'm not familiar with the previous version of Weebly. And I do know that I believe that people can resell Weebly, you don't have to go through Weebly to use Weebly's page builder. So, give and take, how Weebly's business model is. I don't necessarily want to say put it like this. I'm almost convinced to say that if you're looking to use Wix, maybe you might want to consider Weebly, only because I am familiar with Square and do not have a problem with their e-commerce platform whatsoever. And it does not look like they penny pitch you. So here goes what we can do, right? While I'm putting them in the same bucket, however, I would say if you're using Wix, maybe entertain a Weebly, because if we take a look here, my obvious go-to is just like, man, if you're going to use this platform, I wouldn't entertain either one of these options. I would just go right on into the $49 a month plan. Because I feel like you get the priority response and the VIP support. But if this was the plan you would sign up with, I would immediately just say, come over here and pay the $38 a month for the year, get the free domain name, the Google ads. Looks like they give some form of email marketing. You get the SSL certificate, unlimited storage. You can connect your customer domain. Obviously, it removes the Weebly ads. You get some form of a site search, and you get all of the e-commerce options that are available. They don't try to upsell you on any logo design or any of that crazy nonsense, in my personal opinion. And it gives you the ability to offer the gift cards, coupon codes, and all that kind of good stuff as well. But then from a marketing standpoint, they do give you a search engine optimization tool, which once again, these are self-hosted platforms. So when they say that, I just can't, I don't necessarily know that or believe that, or I've even seen that. I've actually seen the opposite, seen that these search engine optimization tools for like a Wix or Weebly and all this stuff, or even Shopify for that matter, are actually as beneficial as they could be. For instance, if you were using a WordPress platform, it gives you the lead capture forms, a bunch of good stuff, pop-up notifications, all that stuff's pretty much good there. And then, all the platforms come with community forums, chat and email support, and phone support through Weebly. Whereas with Wix, yeah, if you're not paying us for $50 or more, we're not trying to talk to you on the phone, obviously. So with all of that being said, we have officially made it to the end of this episode. We've came, we've saw, we conquered. If you made it to the end of this video, you can now see that I am very long-winded. when it comes to certain topics. But if you made it to the end of this video or audio piece, I hope that what I've talked about thus far has brought some sort of insight to these e-commerce platforms, and it allowed you to get my take on, what platforms are good for what. And yeah, so you take it easy, enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comment section. I cannot forget to do this, because if I forget to do this, I might end up losing my job. So if you like the audio, leave us a comment. If you liked the content, leave a like. If you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you can leave a comment, and ultimately, if you can shoot me a DM, even if you're on Facebook, send me a DM. Just let me know what you think about it. I really do want to get your feedback. This is the second episode, or the official first episode. First one I would say is a pilot. Share the content. Really would like to get some feedback. And if there's something that you would like for me to talk about that surrounds websites to any degree, please feel free to let me know in any of the ways, shapes, or forms that are available. You take it easy. I need to get some sleep. It's 2:00 in the morning.